Alright guys, so equipment. I first come across this method of, I suppose it's healing the body, a couple of years back, 2 or 3 years back. And one of the issues a lot of people get these days is that their body is out of alignment. But the main thing that brought me onto Starecta was I heard some good stories about how it could fix visual snow, basically. And when people are growing up and lifestyle, various different things start to happen to the body. And one of the common things that people get is TMJ, which is joint problems in the jaw, and these can cause massive amounts of problems in people, ranging from tinnitus to visual snow to gut issues, and it's a very complex system on why, but a lot of nerves actually go past the TMJ joint and cause a lot of problems. Other things that people get is facial misalignment. I've got facial misalignment. It's very, very common. Most people's left side of the body is actually twisted for whatever reason. It seems to be the left side. I think it's because of the lack of creativity in today's world that people's left side twists up. Other problems is that people have hunched over postures, especially if you're suffering from things like sympathetic dominance. So that's a big problem. Other things is kyphosis, hunched back, scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine. And believe it or not, a lot of these problems are actually related to your jaw. And it's a complex thing, as it's complex to explain. I'm going to try my best to explain it in simple terms. So what happens usually is when babies are born and they're breastfeeding, the action of sucking starts to properly align the jaw, align the face, align the brain structure. It also allows a baby to get proper tongue posture. Not many people these days have got proper tongue posture. The correct way for your tongue to be is right at the top of your mouth. So if you smile like this and put your tongue to the top of your mouth and then swallow, if you swallow, you'll feel that the tongue has been pushed right to the top of the mouth, and that is the correct tongue posture. And one of the reasons why that's the correct tongue posture is that what it does is gravity is pulling down on the body constantly, and by the tongue pressed, and this kind of starts to compress the body over time, so most people, let's take my hat off, most people have this kind of hunched over posture. A lot of it's to do with nutritional deficiencies, but a lot of it's to do with poor tongue posture as well. And basically, when the tongue's stuck at the top of the mouth, it does a lot of different things. One of the things it does is it keeps the teeth wide. So a lot of people's teeth today are very narrow. Some of this is actually due to genetics. If you have a look at African tribe people, you'll notice that their mouths generally really wide, and that's a good palate. And that's kind of the best, way humans' mouths should be. But what it does is when your tongue's pushing up, it causes an upwards force in the body. So it kind of pushes the skull upwards, and the rest of the body kind of hangs down a little bit. And especially when you swallow, the act of swallowing, when the tongue is at the top of the mouth, when you swallow, it pushes a force upwards, and it kind of keeps the tongue, keeps the head upright. It's really powerful. Another thing that people don't do these days is their teeth aren't properly aligned. And what should happen, and this is what Starecta does, but what should happen is the teeth should be closed like this. The tongue should be pushing up. Now the jaw naturally wants to be pushed, wants to go backwards. it's got this. If you go like this with your jaw, push it forwards and let go, it comes back. Do you see what I mean? It comes back into place. Now, if your teeth are together like this, and both of the pits of the teeth linked together nicely, see how that's linked together? And if you've got proper tongue posture and jaw posture, what happens is when they link together like this, these are basically, it creates a seal, creates a, it's together. It's like a grip. So the jaw is pushing backwards. The tongue's pushing upwards, and it allows the skull to basically go from this to this, because this is pushing backwards and the tongue's pushing upwards, and basically the skull is pushed up. And what happens when you're in that position is it's as if, like, the best way to describe it is it's as if you have a stick that's going, imagine if you had a stick going right to the back of your mouth. I came out this, and you just pull down on it. Imagine how that would feel. It'd be like a puppet on a string, and it allows all the body to kind of rest downwards. And that's how the body should actually be. So this basically does that mechanism. And what you do basically is you take a mould of your front teeth, your bottom teeth. So you send that to Italy, they'll get you a mould. And then what you do, it's usually people's postures like this, and the teeth aren't together. So what happens is that you put a bit of gel on the, so this is the mould here, which fits nicely into my teeth, like that. Okay. And then you see this little white bit on top of there, that's gel that I put on myself when it comes to me, in the post from England. And what you do is you sit up in this position, in the best position you can be. So if you've got kyphosis, for example, if you've got a humped back, you might only be able to get up to here, and you can't go any further. And then what you will do is you would put this in your mouth. You would squeeze down. You would push the jaw forward a little bit, like this, and then squeeze down to create a mould. And then that mould would harden, and then naturally, because you're holding in this position, naturally you just want to go back down again because that's how it naturally is. But once this mould's been created and you put it in your mouth and you close the mouth, it will push up your posture to where it was when you was trying to sit up straight. And that does a lot of different things. So because all of a sudden you've gone from this position to this position, because this little device has actually created a lever effect. So it's created a little effect where it's pushing your skull upwards like it should do. If you've got kyphosis, and this was the position in the beginning, all of a sudden it's in this position, and you keep this in 24/7, and after a while the bones will change to a new position, the muscles will change to a new position. You've also got this great thing that starts to happen, is that because you've created like this lever effect, so that the skull is now being pushed upwards, all of the muscles that was used to keep your head in place are now relaxing. So people that have got visual snow, for example, can sometimes have better vision, because sometimes visual snow is related to tight muscles in this area. Also, what will happen is if you've got TMJ, because you've put the jaw into a better position, TMJ will start to improve and loosen up, etc., etc. Now, what happens in 2 weeks' time, because the body's found a new balance, what you do is you start from here and you put this in. Now you're up to here. All right. So you've got this new balance. So 2 weeks later, you just file down the mold, and you do it again. So you try and get into a new position, put this in, put your mouth down, create a middle, you got this new position. So you've gone from here to here to here. And you do that over and over and over again until your back straightens out, you got good posture. The same thing happens with scoliosis. So scoliosis is like the spine is a snake. So by doing that, it creates the lever up, 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 up. So the snake starts to turn into a straight line. You know, I didn't have kyphosis or scoliosis. I was mainly doing it for visual snow. So yeah, so this, I haven't used this 100%, and I don't recommend it to all my clients. I only recommend it for severe cases because there is a downfall to this, which I personally am not 100% behind. If I had serious problems like kyphosis or scoliosis, I would probably do it. So basically what happens is there's a couple of problems with this method, really. Not so much problems, they're just annoyances that some people might not want to get into. So what happens is when you put this in, the more that you go up, the more that the lever's created, the higher that this has to go up, because it's going to start creating a gap in the back of the. It's going to start creating a gap in the back of your teeth because it's pushing up, pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. So what happens is whenever you don't have this in, you go back to where you was normally. So that's problem one, is that you kind of got to wear this all the time, 24/7. The other solution is that in 2 years' time, or 3 or 5 years' time, whenever you're in a fixed position, you can go and find a dentist that will do some dental work and create some sort of height on the back molars of your teeth. So it's constantly in that position. There's also the problem of, you know, you struggle to speak properly, you know. So that's the reason why basically I've put this in the members area, because I don't recommend it to everyone. I only recommend it to severe cases. I do believe it can massively help with tight muscles. It can massively help with scoliosis, kyphosis, digestion issues, spinal problems, facial misalignment, TMJ. I think it's the best method really to fix severe problems like that. Now, just finally, there is 2 ways to use this. You can do the soft method, or you can do the hard method. The hard method is using this 24/7, all day, every day. Usually people that do that will have to get some orthodontic work in years to come to basically keep the height. Or you could do a soft method, which is wearing the device for a minimum of 46 hours. So if you've got a little bit of pain, you know, if you've got a bit of facial alignment, you haven't got serious issues, you can just wear this, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. Yeah, but basically when you pull it out, it kind of goes back to normal. So you could just use it whenever you need to. Say when you're doing a sport, I don't recommend sport nutritional balancing, but doing anything that, you know, say that you get pain at a computer and, you know, you put this in, the pain's gone. You know, that's kind of soft method, hard method. So that's everything for Starecta. If you want to know more about it, go to www.starecta.com. There's a plug and play option now, which is different to this one, which is much cheaper. So check it out. There's a PDF on there, which is really, really helpful if you want to know more information, because it's a complex, there's a lot of physics involved in how the skull and the jaw actually creates this effect, this lever effect. But naturally we should be able to do it ourselves, but we can't, because poor breastfeeding, poor tongue posture, and like interbreeding has just created these narrow faces that are not healthy anymore. All right, so thanks for watching and speak to you soon.